The best of Money Matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo. Find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. When we think of STEAM education, we often imagine expensive robotics kits, coding boot camps, or high-tech labs. But what if learning STEAM could start with something as simple as chopsticks? Well, that's the idea behind Stickem. Their low-cost robotics kits include everything you need to build hundreds of creations, such as geometric connectors, plug-and-play electronics, and, of course, chopsticks. All while encouraging kids to add everyday items like cardboard, string, or bottles to bring their ideas to life. Now, with over 10,000 students and 1,200 teachers across 11 countries already using Stickem, it's proving that hands-on learning doesn't need to be complicated or expensive to spark innovation. And to explore how Stickem is making STEAM education accessible and fun for kids everywhere, joining us today is Kai, founder of Stickem. Hi, Kai. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, Kai, Stickem started as an idea to make STEAM education more accessible to, kids everywhere using simple chopstick-based kits and an online learning ecosystem. So before I get into why chopsticks, I want to ask you first, what gap did you identify in this education space and how did Stickem set out to solve it?
So we grew up building tons of things, having access to lots of materials, robotics or tinkering. But as we started teaching robotics, we realized that, it's really, really expensive. And also not many kids have access to this. It's really the top few % for coding robotics bootcamps.
Okay.
So we realized, why should it only be limited to those few kids if we can make it accessible to everyone? And even those few kids that have access to these things, they are not really learning. They're copying the code. They're going to class, copying the code, copying what the robot design is supposed to be. And then they go home and they forget. But they can get into DSA and do really well for their extracurriculars.
Definitely. So I've got to ask you, Kai, why chopsticks? What made you choose this material as the foundation for your kits?
So when we first had the idea of making a low-cost STEM kit that allows you to build all kinds of crazy stuff, the initial idea was, maybe low-cost things like cardboard. And then I was trying to brainstorm. I went to my kitchen. I opened the drawer and I was like, I have a lot of tapao chopsticks during the COVID era that I didn't use. And then I was flexing it. It's pretty strong. It allows me to cut it, break it, and allows me to do very DIY. And I wouldn't feel afraid to cut it. It's a very accessible material. So we thought, what if we use chopsticks to build things?
Okay.
Not just towers, but robots, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Very interesting. So when you say your kits are built to scale anywhere, what does that mean? Is it about reaching different geographies or different aspects of STEM learning?
So it talks about geography. The way Stickem has been designed has allowed us to reach anywhere, from top schools, fancy schools in Singapore, all the way to village schools in floating villages in Malaysia, Thailand, Myanmar, military border schools, and even remote village schools in Uganda. And I think not many STEM kits or STEM companies are able to do that, but the way we've designed it to be able to be self-run without any specialized STEM trainer has allowed us to really reach scale anywhere. So that's where the scale anywhere comes in.
So take us inside the classroom then. What does a typical Stickem session look like for the kids? And what are they building and how do they experience learning?
So it's extremely chaotic. You'll hear screaming, it'll be so messy. So we call it challenge-based learning, which means that the students go through maybe 5 to 10 minutes of theory, of context setting and explanation, information. And then the rest of the lesson, whether it's 1 hour, 2 hours, is purely just them trying to solve a problem. So we never give them the solution. We say, for example, we need to dispose of a bomb that has not been exploded yet, which is a very real problem in Laos. We tell them, the bomb is this diameter, it's maybe hidden somewhere. You need to design a robot that has the different mechanisms that can go find the bomb and dismantle it. So then the kids will spend all the time just basically trying to think of solutions, problem solving, adapting what they've created to solve these different challenges. And the idea is that if we keep giving them different challenges, over a span of within just 1 year, they'll have experienced so many different real-world context situations and they have way more experience.
Yeah, this sounds like so much fun. If Stickem existed when I was a student, I would probably be a STEM kid.
You get that very often.
Well, you created Stickem Academy, which allows teachers to run STEM classes stress-free, even if it's chaotic, like you said, and even with no prior experience. So some might see no prior experience as a red flag. So why did you decide to build it this way?
So very early on, when we were running Stickum in different countries, and even in Singapore, we realized that if you want a product or a company to be able to scale anywhere, it has to be able to be run by anyone. It cannot be by a select few, because STEM-trained teachers are hard to find, and teachers that are interested in running the lessons are even harder to find. So this is a problem even in Singapore, where we have really great NIE and teachers. So we decided that, okay, we'll create Stickum Academy, which has all the lesson materials available.
Yep.
It's just click and it's ready to use. If a teacher doesn't want to use it and they feel like they're ahead of that, it gives them a higher starting point. But for teachers that have no idea how to run a STEAM class, all they need to do is facilitate, which teachers already know how to do. They know how to nurture the students, monitor the class, manage any misbehaviors, but not all of them might know STEAM itself. So we create the great high quality materials, we run it and test it in Singapore schools, and then anywhere around the world, they have access to these same materials.
Okay. Well, you said you're not just training coders or roboticists, but the next generation of problem solvers, which, am I right, with the examples that you've given us, it really is about problem solving. So how do your challenge-based lessons prepare kids for the future of work? And why do you think adaptability and creativity are just as important as technical skills through your lessons?
I think when people think about STEM or STEAM, they often think about engineers, coders. But at Stickum, I think our belief is that, okay, STEM and STEAM are just the fundamentals. It's the basis of developing all these skills. Because even though a student, let's say in Singapore, they go through coding classes, ALP, Code for Fun, they might not necessarily grow up to become an engineer or software engineer. But if we are able to equip every single student that comes for Stickum classes or use Stickum in their classrooms with problem-solving skills, then when they grow up, regardless of what they choose to be, what kind of problems they have, they're a bit more equipped, they're a bit more confident to tackle these problems. So that's what we're trying to develop. We're not trying to develop next generation of AI engineers, but instead actually students that are able and confident to solve problems.
Right. I mean, aside from affordability as well, what do you think sets Stickum apart from other STEAM solutions? What's your unique edge?
So I think our ability to reach any school around the world, not just the top few percent of schools. Price is one of the things that often comes up, but I don't think this is our big differentiator. I think anyone can be cheap, but whether they can reach the school and have the teachers very, very confident and excited to share about it. So like 3 weeks ago, I just got news from this school in Uganda. We sent them a few kits. We didn't hear back from them in a while after we did the online training. So I was like, okay, maybe they didn't get to use it. And then a few months later, he just texted me and he said that their school was able, this rural school, 400 kilometers from the capital of Uganda, they were able to become ranked first in the country after using Stickum. And this is a rural village school. This is not like some rich private school.
Wow. Yeah. So when you hear stories like this, how do you feel?
I mean, it's amazing. But I think throughout the years, we hear so many stories that now we're like, okay, we know it's working. Let's reach more students.
Right. I mean, you've already got adults interested, and you mentioned that just like me, people were saying that, oh, if this existed back in the day, right? But what about from the kids themselves? What do they say about Stickum?
So we did this really great program with Three Pumpkins, TTKC, and the idea of it was that we will have the kids that are very excited to use Stickum continue to become the ones running the program for other kids.
Oh, wow.
So I think it was like a 19-week period where every week, every Tuesdays with Stickum, they would come up with their own like Beyblade or whatever tallest tower challenges, Ramp of Doom challenge.
Wow.
And they'll basically organize, take a whiteboard out, write down like team connectors, team chopsticks, and they'll organize all these different things by themselves. I think that's what we want. We want kids to be so excited that they're like, okay, I need to become like a leader and really take charge of this program, instead of, okay, I'm going to come to class, it's going to be boring, but I'm going to copy the code, build the robot. My mom's going to pick me up. Then I go home and I forget what I learned.
Definitely. I mean, when you hear stories like this and the ways that the kids have new ideas to use Stickum, how do you feel?
It's amazing. Because I think, we often hear that, oh, I wish I had this when I was growing up. But I think it's great that now the more schools we reach, we don't have to we wish, because now the kids are actually having it in their classrooms and having more hands-on learning. Which is what I wish I had growing up.
Definitely. Well, you've also achieved a major milestone. You won the Holtz Prize 2025 after spending half a decade building Stickum. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what does this recognition mean for your company, and how do you plan to use it as a springboard for the next phase of growth?
It's massive. I mean, it literally came 1 week before we turned 5. So we've been building this for half a decade, and then we win the $1 million. And we're the first ever Singapore team to win this.
Congratulations.
So I think it's been around for more than a decade, the prize. A Singapore team has never gotten to the finals, and the Singapore team has never won it. So it's quite amazing to put Singapore like a little red dot on the map. I think for us it's amazing because with $1 million, we're able to scale up our production. We're able to raise awareness so that more schools can find out about us. Because every time we talk to a school, there's almost like 100% conversion rate, and they end up becoming customers and using us for years to come. But the issue is, how does a school in Africa, how does a school in Malaysia, across Southeast Asia, how do they find out about us?
Yeah.
So that's part of where the marketing is. And production is, we've been sold out for the past 6 months.
Oh, wow.
So we can scale out our production now. More chopsticks.
More chopsticks in production. Well, how do you see Stickem positioning itself as the intersection of automation and creativity?
I think we're focused more on the soft skills part. Obviously, the kids are learning about robotics with Stickem, mechanisms, physics. But underlying all that is just getting kids to build more crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Think, problem solve, be very adaptable. So I think we're already doing that. I think kids are already building things more on the technical side, but at the same time, they're developing a lot of these crucial skills, especially in Singapore classrooms, where they're probably not able to have as much hands-on learning as they want. With a lot of teachers that integrate Stickem into their classroom, where instead of, elastic energy, we're going to learn about the formula to convert kinetic energy into all this. Let's create a catapult. Let's launch something and see how it affects, if I add one more rubber band, two more rubber bands, how that affects elastic energy. So it's converting all these theoretical lessons and pen and paper learning into something that kids are way more engaged in, really enjoy themselves, they go crazy, and then at the end of the lesson, keep everything. Okay, when's the next Stickem lesson? When's the next Stickem lesson? I think that's what we really want to get. More schools.
I mean, when kids do enjoy what they're learning, they want to continue learning. When they don't like it, they are bored, they don't, their attention span is...
Yeah, and this is a huge issue overseas, where learner rates, like kids dropping out of school, not interested in studying.
And you're going to stick them through education, right?
Make them stick to education.
Well, before we let you go here, Kai, what else can we look out for from Stickem in the near future? What's next on the roadmap?
So apart from like product developments, we have a new kit coming up, which is a bit more advanced and allows kids to do more advanced things. But I think in the next 1 or 2 years, you'll see us really reaching more schools around the world, especially Singapore. We're hoping that we're able to reach almost every single primary school and secondary school in Singapore.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Kai, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Kai, founder of Stickem. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.